So I've not said hello personally. Good morning. Thanks for joining. We're going to start with the head. So drop the head to one side, roll across the chest, and all the way around. So you can relax into it. We've got maybe 2 in each direction. And just use this moment to kind of center, close off from the rest of the day. Just give yourself full attention. And then let's take it the other way. Nice soft jaw, heavy shoulders. And then when we move on to the shoulders, let's take many movements, a few repetitions, taking the shoulders forwards and back. Let's see if we can weave in the breath. Breathe out as the shoulders come forwards. Breathe in, feel that expansive breath, really expansion of the ribs. Out to come forwards, breathing in, back. One more like this, and then we'll elevate and depress the shoulders. So with the shoulders in a nice position, nicely back and down, lift and then lower. Breathe in to lift, up to the ears and lower. Let's start to go to the end of that exhalation. So now we can feel the front ribs come together, the navel hugging back to the spine, fingers to the earth. Feel the shoulder blades gliding up and down the back. Last 2, and then we'll take big circles and we'll evolve the legs. So straight away, as we're doing the last few repetitions for the shoulders, have the toes slightly turned out. And let's take the arms forwards as the knees bend. Breathe in like a big morning yawn and breathe out. Big breath, big opening. Now, if this is going to aggravate any niggles on your shoulders, definitely support the shoulders here and then hold the shoulders to draw them back and down. More thinking about how we can find space in the shoulder joints. We're starting to get that stretch in the back of the legs as we stand up. Stretching for the side walls. Start to occupy more space. We've got 3 more here, so you can reach as if you're trying to reach something just beyond the fingertips. Let's make the next our last. Now, rather than thinking about a vigorous standing salt, we're going to take a twist down to the opposite elbow, the ankle. Nice flow movement. Breathe in here, breathe out. Let's hold the leg and slide down to the ankle. Slide up and open the arms wide. Breathing out, other leg. So not trying to go to your edge, not forcing any stretch here. The repetition will do that work for you. Breathing in wide, breathing out, melting down the leg. Breathing in, coming up and opening. Breathing out, gliding. I'd like you to start to think about a twist in the spine. So as we come down, try to swivel a little bit further, maybe even looking over that back shoulder. Let's have one more set, once more each side. And then we are going to go straight into, well, it'll be based on a sun salutation, but that's really just to give it a structure for us to work through the body, warm up the body, and add in a couple of flows. So I'm going to do it facing you, so this will be our right side. And once we get into a flow, I'll turn to the side to make it clear. So if you come forwards in your space, take a deep breath in here, reach for the ceiling and look up. And then breathing out, spread the fingers, press the air down, nice and slowly, getting that full body, back of the body stretch. Halfway lift, pressing into the shins, lengthen the neck, the spine. We're stepping the right foot back. I'm going to give you the option of lowering the knee or keeping the leg lifted. So it's the right leg is back, and we're going to take a backstroke action. So the right arm will lift forwards, up, back, and down. So that's on the first flow. I'll come to one side. So I'm keeping my back knee lifted, but you can place it on the floor. So let's breathe in to reach forwards, up, back and down. Now, as with the initial mobilization exercises, we can hold the shoulder. We're getting all the benefits of the chest opening, the pec stretch, and we're working the shoulder with a bit more nurture, a little bit more support, because often when we've got those shoulder niggles where, you know what it's like to take a jumper over your head, sometimes just by leaning back a little bit and opening the shoulder, we can get past that niggle, that pull that we can feel. So we're just wanting to open the chest and promote that more open position in the shoulder. We're still on the same side, but we switch hands. So now we're getting a bit more of a twist. Your right hands to the floor, left fingers all the way up, forwards, up, back and down. Now by keeping the front knee tracking forwards, as we stretch open wide, we might get a little bit of a stretch into the hip there. Let the head flow. So we can think about the principles of the forest discipline of yoga, where they just let the head hang. So feel free to just let the head roll where it naturally flows. Then we can concentrate on this movement in the arm, the twist for the spine. Last one. I lied when I said 4. We're stepping back to a plank. Can be knees down, otherwise your chaturanga flow onto the toes, elbows into the waist, lowering to your belly. We'll take a baby cobra, slide your hands forward so just the elbows pop up slightly. And now let's claw into the fingers and draw the chest forward, shoulders down, point the toes. Breathe deeply, feeling the ribs creeping forwards, but the shoulders back, open across the chest. And then we're taking a down dog. Hands under the shoulders or by the chest. Press back, hips lift, and send them back. Pause here for a moment, lengthening in all directions. Feel the shoulder blades coming apart a little bit towards the armpits, and feel your front ribs knitting together. Sit bones riding up the wall behind you. Okay. Be prepared. We're stepping forwards with the right foot. We're taking a warrior 2. To soften your knees, look at your hands. We can help that right foot to the front. We're spinning the back foot down at a 90-degree angle. We're going to back stroke with this left arm all the way up, and we're meeting warrior 2. So the flow here, knee tracking forwards. We're looking at the middle finger. We're coming between this position, nice upright position in the body, and into an extended side angle. Actually, how was I going to do it? Yes, sorry. This back hand is coming behind the body, and maybe the fingers will touch under the thigh in a bind. Breathe in and open wide, shoulders back and down, slight pelvic tilt to give us that length through to the tailbone. Breath out. Right arm forward, left arm back. Breathe in, open wide, always keeping that knee open. As it fatigues, it will want to dip forwards. Long through to the crown of the head. Powering up through the legs. So it's more strenuous than our extended side angle. We can cheat by leaning on that thigh. I'll just come to the side. You can see the bind, the temporary bind that we're working towards and powering up. Last 2 times here. Last one. Maybe just reaching, fingertips find each other and back. We're on the same leg. Straighten your front leg, the right leg. Reaching forwards through the fingers, triangle. Breathe out here, breathing up to standing. So try not to force anything. It can be a much smaller movement. And also if you feel that this front knee, the right knee is locking out, just give it a gentle bend. Let's see if we can slow the breath down. Slowing the movement down. Last two, and then we're stepping forwards, and you know we've got another leg to go. Just feel them, allow the muscles time to lengthen. When a cartwheel, these hands down, the back heel will lift. Hands to the floor, and step your back foot forwards. Let's roll up through the spine. Take a big yawn stretch. Breathe until the hands meet, and lower to heart center. Let's take a recovery breath here. Hands by the side, closing the eyes, and breathe. Second side, so leading with your left leg. Breathe in and open and reach. Breathe out and fold. Halfway lift. And we're stepping the left foot back. So remember, it's knee lifted or the knee down, your choice. We'll start with that back stroke. We'll do both arms. So let's all go for the opposite hand, reaching forwards, up, back, and down. So straight away, see if you can weave in the breath. Remember, no tension in the neck. So soften that jaw. Occupy space. So we're finding space in those tiny joints of the hand. Wrist, elbow, shoulder, supporting the shoulder if that feels right. Letting the head stay in the same place maybe if that feels right. Just looking down at the floor. And let's switch to the other side. Other hand, reaching forwards, up, back and down. Something just out of reach. We're reaching for. See if we can spread the weight over those 3 points, the 2 feet, the hand. Lovely. Let's make this one our last. Hand to the floor, and we step back to a plank. Knees can come down, but let's just make sure the back of the head is in line with the back of the pelvis. Core strong. Tip forwards, and let's meet on our bellies. Here we can point the toes. Look down at the floor, shoulders down. Baby cobra hands can stay under the shoulders, but pull the chest forwards. And then let's meet in a down dog. Lifting the hips high. You can pedal through. If the heels are quite high, definitely no forcing. Just feeling a little bit of a calf stretch. Keeping the knees soft if that's better for you. Feeling length in the spine. So recap. We're stepping your left foot forwards to a warrior 2. We'll flow in and out of the bind. So let's prepare. Knees bend. Look at the hands. Step your left foot forwards. So the front toes are pointing forwards. Your back toes, spin that back heel down. So your right toes are facing the right wall. Back stroke with the right hand. And let's meet in warrior 2. Let's tuck the tailbone and find that vertical stacking of the upper body. Shoulders down, head back. So our flow, now, once I figured out what it was, we're taking that bind so your front hand comes in front of the thigh, top hand behind. Pressing away from the floor to stand, looking at the front finger. Breathing out, melting shoulder down. So the head can just gently drop to one side. So we're strengthening, we're working on flexibility without forcing. There's no need to force and push it right to the edge. Repetition will do that for you. So definitely don't worry if your fingers are just nowhere near each other at the back. It may be hard to see from this angle, but I have weirdly long arms for my body. So this sort of thing is unusually easy for me. There are many things I just cannot do. But here, my hands do meet because for the proportions of my body, my arms are pretty long. The benefits here, you're moving with breath, and we're getting a little bit of an opener in the chest here, promoting a little bit of a pec stretch on this top shoulder. Are we ready for the triangle flow? So we're straighten the back leg. These toes are still straight in the front leg, the back toes still pointing forwards. And we stretch to the side and into the triangle. The triangle in itself is really strenuous. So we can go deeper into our triangle just by flowing in and out. So we're not overloading any muscle group for any prolonged period of time. Side wall, hinge. Okay, so now your body knows what it's doing. It can flow with the breath. Let's find kind of a softness in the shoulders, even if it means softening the line of the elbows. Teeth slightly parted. Let's have the last two on this side. So we've warmed up the shoulder. This is more intense opening. So again, hold the shoulder. To come out, let's soften this front knee. Cartwheel those hands down to the floor and let's step to the front. Because it's the last, we're finishing those sun salutations, hold the back of the knees. And press the back of the knees into your forearms. And just pause in this forward fold. Let's shake out the head. Take a nice deep breath and then release the arms, and we're taking a Pilates roll up. So legs pretty straight but not locked. Rebuild the spine from the base up. Heavy head, heavy shoulders and arms. Bit of core strength here to help find that articulation through the spine. And we meet standing up, roll the shoulders back and down. One more standing up. Again, I'm going for a gentle flow. Have no fixed idea of the shape you're aiming for. We're going to take a fold. Find the floor with the fingers, so that might mean bending the knees. And then stretch the chest forwards. As you breathe in, breathe out into the fold. They're the two positions we're toggling between. Breathe in, the chest lengthens, top of the head forward. Breathe out, melting down. So, in modifications, the knees can be bent and the fingertips can be further forwards. It becomes more difficult if we keep the leg straight and we bring the fingertips back in line with the toes. Find your position, no overstrain. See the difference it makes if you close your eyes. To lengthen the spine and feel where's the base of the spine, where's the top of the head. And as you breathe out, feeling a heaviness into the crown of the head, which draws it down to the earth. If possible, slow the breath down, slow this flow down. We're coming down to the mat after this, so last two, with an extra bit of energy, knowing that you're getting closer and closer to the floor. To come out, let's toe and heel those feet in. And again, roll up through the spine. And let's find mats if you're not already on one. Come to all fours. A nice known flow is our cat-cow. So let's come into that. Join me down on that. So shoulders over wrists, separate the feet and ankles, toes not curling in together. Let's have them pointing back. Breathing in to stretch the chest forwards as we did in the opening. And breathing out, lifting the ribs, the navel back to the spine, shoulder blades separate. In time with your own breath, let's have two more rounds. You can have a little wiggle of the hips here as you come into that cat pose. Here in the Cow pose. We're trying to look over the front edge of the mat, shoulders back, hands drawing down and towards the knees. And then we're just taking a hip sink to one side. Let the heels roll to one side and just lean into that hip. Just a swivel in the upper body, and that yummy stretch in the outer hip. You can move forwards and backwards here, and you might be able to adjust and find that sweet spot where you get a little bit more of a stretch in the hip. Let's take it across the other side. Let the hips sink. So everything flows, the heels over to the same side. And just a small movement might just give you a little bit more of a satisfying stretch in the hip. When we come down to our bellies, it will be based on the locus, but the focus will be on trying to find length in the front of the body as we lower down. We spend a lot of time flexing forwards and finding space in the back of the body. I'd like you to focus on the front of the body now. So when we come onto our bellies, we can have the arms in a comfortable position out in front where we can press down into the hands. The elbows might float up, but we press down through the hands and draw the hands towards the body to lift the upper body. Now feel the stretch in the front of the body as you breathe out and lower the front of your body down to the floor. So we breathe in to peel the upper body, not far. We're not overarching the spine. The feeling is lengthening the upper body, trying to get the ribs away from the pelvis. And then when you lower down to the mat with that exhalation, it's almost as though you feel a little bit longer on the front of the body. We can keep the legs straight, toes pointing away. Focus is on that kind of almost pulling action through the hands. So this is strengthening for the back. We're drawing the shoulder blades back, the shoulders back, the chest forwards, and then lowering down with a little bit more space between the ribs and the hips. Let's go for 3 more. Breathing in, active through the fingertips, 10 underside knuckles of the hands, the heels of the hands pressing down. I can feel this in my arms, the backs of my arms for you. Lowering down. Nearly there. We've got 1 more exercise on our front, but it will be more of a release. We're going to take, I've forgotten the Sanskrit, restless cobra. So that will be hands in a comfortable position in front of you. And we'd start with a figure 8, spiraling the shoulders back, and just feel how that movement is for you. And then just allow the head to move just instinctively where it wants to go. Try spiraling the shoulders forwards. And then that restless cobra, maybe even side to side. Don't worry about the angle of the elbows, just no straining. No one else can see you. I'm the only one who looks weird. So just move and wiggle with me. Let the head go. Try to not overarch the spine. We can still have that pulling action to draw the chest forwards, but just finding any crunches in the shoulders. If you want to leave the elbows down, we can still get plenty of movement into the upper body. Hopefully the shoulders feeling a little bit warmer now. We're coming onto your backs. Now, in case you were slightly overarching the spine, let's take a few rounds of bridge lifts with the breath. Feet hip distance apart, knees at distance apart, arms can hang by the side. So we use the breath in to lift. Pause here and think about the tailbone or the sit bones reaching for the backs of the knees. So now we're lengthening down through the hips and breathing out. 1 vertebra at a time, lowering down. So there's a softening of the curves of the spine, the glutes, breathing out, imprints, rolling up and lengthen. Try and send the knees forwards, the sit bones forwards. Breathing out, rolling down. You're doing well. Breathing to rise up. Feel that length in the back of the neck. And breathing out, lower. Let's have 1 more where you have some awareness into the knees. Let's try and keep those train track parallel lines of the thighs throughout the movement. And then we're going to take a really mindful, slow, which means difficult, elbow to knee, but you know, strengthen the core, you can't overdo it. Let's hold the head in the hands, the thumbs are supporting the neck, and let's have the elbows up to the ceiling. I really want you to feel like the head and neck have a hammock. So let's take the knees into the chest, a big bend in the knees initially, and then you can make it more challenging. Breath in, tilt the pelvis like you're trying to get the sit bones off the floor, breathing out, curling up, elbow to opposite knee as you extend this corresponding leg. Empty the lungs. Now, what you do is press into the ball of that straight leg, the ball of the foot, and press your navel down. We'll breathe into our starting position. And as you breathe out, re-tuck the pelvis. Take that twist, elbow to knee. Think Barbie doll feet in those silly high heels. Press through to the ball of the foot. Lift the upper body. Take that twist and navel in. Breathe into reset. So we'll go side to side with your own breath, but we can make it more of a challenge by our starting point, knees over the hips. So we can press through the ball of the foot. Feel like you're getting more distance between the ball of the foot and the navel, because the navel's down, the ball of the foot reaching away. So again, we're moving with the breath, but every time we breathe in, re-tuck, redrawing in that navel. So we can very quickly build up some heat in the core. Let's try and keep training the tailbone to point forwards. We're finding length in the lower back, supporting the head fully. We're not pulling on the head, it's a tuck, and we're trying to lift the upper and lower body so all of the weight is right on that middle point. More effective stretch and strengthening by pressing through the Barbie doll balls of the feet. So then you get this, it also comes from the forest yoga tradition, where there's more of a deeper connection through the connective tissue by pressing through the ball of the foot. You'll feel more length in that extended leg, but also that idea of re-tucking to lift the base of the spine off, and we're making more of an effort to reset before each curl. It's good to know where the end point is. So we're going to have one more on each side. Throughout, the spine is imprinted. We're supporting the head, using the out breath to re-tilt the pelvis, lift, curling up, squeeze, zip up your core, and ready for the last side. Use the breath out and reach, shoulders down, soften the jaw. Find space whilst we're crunching in that opposition. And then hug the knees into the chest. Have a nice little sway. We're coming up. That was very intense on the core. Let's just go back to a nice flow where we're finding length in the backs of the legs. The legs out in front of you. Holding the knees, long spine, and as you breathe out, place the hands down towards the feet, and then roll up again. Reset, sit bones down, crown of the head to the ceiling, eliminate that tech neck, breath out and fold. Through breathe in for the reset, shoulders back and down, chin tucked, breath out, gliding down till the lungs are empty. Continuous movement, find a gentle flow. Last two. Then we'll windscreen wiper out the legs and pat ourselves on the back. Last time. We'll sway and then let's come up. Brilliant. We'll bend the knees, feet wide. Allow the knees to sway side to side. If that's actually doing nothing at all, do come on to your forearms and we can get more of a twist in the spine, lifting one hip, quad stretch, other side, knees towards the floor. You can stay and do a few more of these, take a full body stretch, see whatever you are led to do. And we're done.